Hi, welcome. This is Sarah James. I'm Sarah James, and this is the channel Abundant Possibilities. And thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, yeah, it's a mix of things. But I'm going to be reading the book of Knowing and Worth, channeled by Paul Selig. I've been reading these books for a bit now, and I'm on day 11 of the book of Knowing and Worth. So I'll start reading, and as it comes to me, I'll discuss what's going on in my life and on my journey, and yeah, we'll just see where it goes. All right. We teach as we can, and the authority we have to be teachers is what we will address first. When one is a teacher, one has a responsibility to a student. And the responsibility we hold for each of you who reads this text is that we will engage with you as you stand before us as the one in willingness, who may learn, who may discover, who may reveal to himself, to herself, the wisdom that she has inherently. Inherently means within. We must tell you this, as we continue our chapter on wisdom, that we are not imparting something to you that is not yours already, but revealing to you what you have within you so that you may call upon your own resources as you require. You each know yourselves through those things around you, through those things that you have discovered, decided upon, accepted as true. You have revealed to yourselves your lives thus far, and you accept what you have created as what is there. The offering we give you now is to lift you up to a higher vantage point so that your perceptions may change. When you stand on a branch of a tree and you look at the horizon, the vision before you will be what you call to you from that height. When you stand upon a mountain and you call to you the view from that mountaintop, you are in that perspective and in that command of that level of perception. Now, the requirements we have for you today are to lift the self to a higher level of perspective so that what you know is in accord with a higher way of being. There is nothing that you know now in your being, in your life, in your creation that you have not accepted. I'm going to pause here and open up this window because it's kind of hot and it's a nice day out here. I'm in Colorado and it's still the fall time, so it's still a beautiful day outside. And I might have to take off my sweater because I'm just hot. So bear with me a second. Let me do this. Let me take off my mic. Sorry about this. We just got back from the dog park and we were playing fetch with our dog, and he was catching for the first time, so we were very excited about that and running around, very excited to help him learn how to catch a little bit more. If you have a dog out there and you like to play with your dog, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then I highly suggest you go out and get a dog because they're amazing. I have the best dog ever. His name is Emerson, and he is one good catcher now. So I'll put that mic back there so you can hear me, and I'll start from where I ended. Now, the requirements we have for you today are to lift the self to a higher level of perspective so that what you know is in accord with a higher way of being. There is nothing that you know now in your being, in your life, in your creation that you have not accepted. Knowing and acceptance work concurrently. You cannot know something and not accept it. Those things are in tandem. So the things that you adhere to, that you accept as true and know, are already in your purview. They are part of your landscape. You see them from the vision you hold, and you have gone into accord with them. I think I'm going to shut this because it's a little loud in the background. Where we take you next is higher, to a lifting of your own mind to see what is before you from a new vision, a new way of perceiving, so that you may call to you the new knowing that is available from that height. Now, height we speak of as a metaphor for your own vibration, the conscious emanation of your field, the congruent that you hold with truth. And as you lift in this intention, on this day I choose to lift my mind, to lift my expression, to lift my availability to a higher level of knowing. I will claim the benefit of this choice. I accept my willingness to accept the teachings that are available to me at this new place. and I align my energy field to all that is required to sustain me in this new level of being. I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. What you are doing, in fact, is making a decision to realign your frequency beyond the boundaries you have created for yourself to a higher vision of what can be. And it is only from that perspective that you may have a new experience of yourself in perception. Now you perceive everything. You see the cats and dogs, you see the fish, the people, the houses, whatever is before you. And you hold within your own knowing ways of identifying these things based on cultural heritage, the names you have been given to call things, and the acceptance you have given yourself of what is true and what is not. You don't tell a 10-year-old that a giraffe is a poodle. The 10-year-old will correct you very quickly. But what happens when there is a new creation? Something that has not yet been named that would enter into that field? How do you identify it? How do you accept it as true? When you have a new ideal, a new thought, a new possibility that has not yet been claimed or made manifest in form, you idealize the possibility. There may be great things in the ethers that I do not know yet, but you do not align to them as a reality because you do not have the tools and the ability to claim them. When you do not know a math problem, the numbers on the page may float before you like a kind of gibberish. If you do not know a language and you are offered a book in that language, you will put it aside because you cannot understand the words on the page. This does not mean that the equation does not add up or that the words on the page that have not been translated for you are not glorious and wonderful. They may well be, but because you cannot attend to them through your perception, you will never know unless you learn the new language. You learn how to add the multiplication tables and division to figure out the equation on the page. Now, when we offer you this, very simply, we are saying that these new ideas that we are offering you, that seem to be there above you somehow, are in fact possible, but you cannot attend to them in fullness with the level of perception that you have held to this date. If you held the level of perception that would help you understand this, to call this into your being, to know it as so, we promise you this. You would have done it already. So what we are responsible for as your teachers are lifting you to a new vantage point where this new understanding is possible, where the limitations you have used to keep yourselves at bay no longer serve you, and you move beyond them to a new acceptance of what is there always. And we say this with emphasis, what is there always. As we lift you to a higher vantage point in your knowing, in your awareness, you are not discovering what has not been there. You are accepting what is there already. When an explorer went off in a boat and discovered a continent, he discovered what had been there always, but was misperceived, was thought to be illusory, legendary, but not fact. Our responsibility now, as you allow us, is to recreate your consciousness in accordance with the Word, in accordance with the divine self that you are, so that what you claim, what you perceive, is in alignment with this truth. The decisions you make from this level of awareness must be very different from what you have made in lower vibration, for the simple reason that you see things differently, you understand them differently, and you attend to the needs of the self and the others from this perspective in a different way. Now, conscious choice is always present, and as you have understood, when you lift your vibration to a higher level, you are the one accountable to it. If you wish to go down, you may go down. You may have that expression. But understand that when you have been high in accordance with high vibration, you have one experience of your worth and the worth of everybody else. And when you go down, you have a very different one. And at each stage of consciousness, you create things. The creations that you make in lower vibration, in fear, in worry, in disregard of others' well-being, have repercussions, and you must attend to those repercussions in conscious ways. We do not have the authority to take away your difficulties. We do have the authority to teach you how to attend to them. And the alignment that we are offering you now to a higher vibration, a higher way of seeing, will do much of the work for you, provided you set the intention to hold your vibration and your awareness of the worth of your fellows. And in the self in truth, in high and wise acknowledgement in the inherent divine within all. As you make this choice, you give yourself an anchor that you may hold to when you are tempted by lower vibration, by conscious choice that would bring you back down, by old patterns of fear or negation of worth. When you still have a hand on the anchor, you have a hand on your own choice, and as we said earlier, maintaining your vibration will always be your responsibility. Now, Paul is interrupting. It is too hard. I can't get through a day without getting angry or being worried or projecting my fate in some uncomfortable way. I've been there. The election, it's day, 2 of the election? It can get hard. There's just so much back and forth. So yeah, it is hard. I get you, Paul. You must understand, each of you, that so much of what you attend to is habit. This is habit, and a habit can be broken if you attend to it. If you have always gone to work left, right, and left down the same road every day for many years, the impulse is to do the same regardless of the new path that has been laid before you. And the new path, we are telling you, is a much lighter path. It's a much more wonderful path. But so often you revert to what the known has been, because you are challenged by the prospect of change, that it may not be what you want, what you seek, what you thought you were going to get when you made the choice to go on the journey. Now, this is worthy of some discussion. You each decide on an unconscious level what it might be like to be in accord with higher wisdom, with higher vibration, with new choice, and the moment those choices don't adhere to the pictures that you have created, the temptation is to throw the book out the window, to decide this is not a good path, or that the recommendations we offer you are too difficult to truly live by. And as you choose those things, you then make them so. You always get what you expect in one form or another. Now, when we tell you that the path before you may not be what you expect, we are simply telling you that it may not adhere to the promises you have made to yourself about what a life should look like. Because I am now spiritual, my needs will all be met effortlessly. I will love my neighbor, I will see the beauty in everyone, and I will have to attend only to my own thoughts. Well, that is all well and good, but you do not arrive to a place of enlightenment without encountering those parts of you that would keep you in abeyance, that would keep you in the darkness. And we promise you this, there is no one who goes on this road who does not encounter herself in all her fear, all her creations, and must come to the understanding that she is still loved. The aspect of you, and there are several aspects of you that would deny the darkness, will call you forward, and the aspects of you that would fear the light will keep you, as they can, in shadow. Now, as we work with you, we pave the road. We've paved the road for you so that your steps may be clear, so that you may not be alone, so that you may have a map of some kind to show you where to go next. In our authority, we have offered you this through this trilogy of text. The text that you hold now, in many ways, is the most ambitious of all our 3, because the transformations that you may be attended to through this, by this experience, will be lifelong and for the usherance of the new word in all men. As each one of you encounters herself, accepts yourself, embraces what you have known, and releases those things you no longer need to carry with you on your journey, you move into a kind of liberation of the soul. The personality who has decided for so long what things must look like, how the path should unfold to conform to some ideal that somebody else once said would so, will be moved into proper alignment. And the withstanding of this, we say, in true recognition of the divine self as the aspect of you that has been born again, born anew, born through your expression, is what will heal others. Now, when we speak of healing others, you must understand that we are not giving you a ticket, an authorship to go about your business as a healer. So many of you run for your certificates, certificates for those things that will tell you that you are allowed. In this case, the being that you are, expressed as you are, is the healing factor. The very presence of your being in this alignment that we are offering you is what will attend to the needs of others. So the obligation you have to them will be revealed to you by your own true self, but perhaps not in the way that you would think of now. There are many ways to doctor someone. There is medicine and there is love. There is true recognition of worth, and there is the authority you bring as a conscious being who no longer aligns to a lower vibration. When you are encountered by somebody who holds low vibration, the opportunity that you have is to lift them to a new ideal. And this is done through your vibration, not necessarily through language or intentional action. You may bless the one before you, and we recommend that you do. I am word through the one I see before me, sets the intention that the vibration of the word is within the other, and supporting them in their own evolution. I know who you are, I know what you are, I know how you serve, claims them in truth and supports their vibration in aligning to their own divine self. The aspect of you that is their teacher will be brought forward in the way that is required, not as you would design it. Now, when we speak of designs, we are simply deciding to explain to you that when you design something in advance, you are usually designing something to attain to a frame that you have created previously, or you were taught would be there, should be there, must be there, if your light is to be right, if your life is to be right. If my life is to be right, I will be married to the man of my dreams, doing wonderful work, making lots of money, and surrounded by loving friends. That's all the things that I want. Which is funny because I know I'm 40. I guess I just turned 43. My birthday was on Monday. And I've never been married before. And I just got engaged at 42. It can happen. All these things that I've wanted and asked for so long. Money and happiness and love and all this stuff that can be. And it is a frame that I put myself in. So I get that. But that may be a false creation that you are using to frame a reality that may be much greater than the small mind would allow to be brought forward into manifestation. Abundant possibilities. Abundant possibilities. All things can happen. There's so many amazing possibilities, and just getting yourself out of that frame is it's liberating. It does feel good. Whatever's going to happen. Your true soul's yearning, we say, is to be embodied in the Christ's manifestation. That is the true soul's journey for all men. The times that you stand in now offer the opportunity for a rising, for an escalation of consciousness in a way that has never been possible on this plane. And the choice that each one of you makes to incarnate at this level supports all of mankind in doing the same. We must say this one more time for the reader who becomes frightened when we speak of the Christ manifested. The Christ, as we describe it, is simply the aspect of you, seated by your Creator that seeks realization as you. And the divine self you are, you must trust, knows his own path, knows her own path, and may know more than you know as you sit in your chair deciding what things should look like. What does it mean to be in your wisdom at this new vantage point we speak of? It means to be in allowance, first and foremost. And we must express this to each of you who decides in advance that you need to know everything. To be in allowance, and as we have described earlier, to be in welcome, aligns you to the possibility of the wisdom that would be imparted to you, through you, in your inherent knowing. To decide in advance what an answer may preclude the real answer from coming forward. So we offer you this exercise. Take a moment now and simply be still and ask yourself a question that you know the answer to. I know that my address is. I know the day of the week that it is. And then take a moment and hear the answer come to you. Now take a pause and ask yourself a question that you do not know the answer to. I know the reason I am. I am willing to know the reason I am. Perhaps if you wish to frame it as a question. But when you go into a question, you must align to the possibility that the answer that comes will not be the convenient one, the one you had hoped for, the one your mother told you would be. So we offer you this. Ask yourself a question you do not know the answer to, and be still and know. Now, knowing, we say, is not grabbing, it is not asking, it is receiving. You may claim your knowing in reception by allowing and aligning to it. I am wisdom, as we told you, will align your vibration to the conscious knowing that may be available to you at any moment. If you can imagine right now that there is a field surrounding this plane that holds all the information you could ever require, and attending to this information was not more difficult than aligning to it, you will begin to understand what we are teaching you. As you understand that there is a broadcast and you are the radio, you will begin to understand that the channels on the radio that you are may be refined to access information and your own wisdom at levels you have not encountered yet. It is available to you through acknowledgement and through welcome. Now we will return to our initial subject of this day, which was the lifting of your own vibration to new perception, to what may be on the tree branch and visible from the mountaintop. And we would offer you this. The intention that you are setting now will work with you as you agree to it. And we underlined agree. As we have said earlier, speaking words without a knowing or a belief or an acknowledgement of the truth in a statement will be words with no light. So we offer you this. On this day, I align myself to the next level of awareness that may be available to me in this incarnation. I set the intention that I am being attended to in this lifting so that I may see and perceive the information and the truth, the creations that are available to me at this level of sight. I agree to be supported in this alignment, and I offer myself to the guides who work with this text to support me in my own growth and well-being. I choose this of my own free will. As I lift my spirit, I lift my life. As I lift my life, all unfolds before me in perfect ways. I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. The lecture that we are giving you now is much about responsibility as it is wisdom and perception. And we will echo this lecture again and again as we continue our teaching. Many of you wish to be taught, but you do not wish to do the homework. Many of you wish to receive information, but you do not want to attend the possibilities that it offers you. Many of you wish to learn, but you do not wish to do so. So we are supporting you each. Paul is seeing the image of a ski lift. The skiers are all bundled up in their winter clothing and they are being carried up a mountain. And that is the appropriate image of today. We are carrying you up the mountain to the new view. You will see the new view and you will decide for yourself what is before you. We thank you for your presence today. We will resume tomorrow. Good night. Stop now, please. So we're getting carried up the mountaintop. It feels great. I don't know if you've read these books, the Book of Knowing. This is the third book of this trilogy. There was the I Am the Word. There's the Book of Mastery. There's the Book of Loving and Creation. There's so many of them, but this is the third book, the Book of Knowing and Worth, and it's a game changer. I mean, it's so much beautiful information, and this is information for humankind, for me, for you, for anybody out there that's listening. This is information that's helping us raise our vibration. And if you're watching the news right now, if you're watching the elections going on, if you're in the fear group or the ascension group or whatever group you're in, it's time for something new. It's time for new possibilities. It's time for loving and supporting each other. It's going to happen. It's going to happen sometime. Why not now? Now is the time. So thank you, thank you, thank you guys for sharing this information with us. Thank you, Paul Selig, for being a channel for this work. Thank you for putting this work out there. I'm so glad to be reading these books and sharing the information, and it is literally changing my life. So I am just beyond grateful for all of these beautiful gifts that are in this book and all the other ones. And I'm going to go for the night. I'm going to go have family dinner and play with my dog a little bit more. Wherever you are, I hope that you're having a beautiful day. It's beautiful and sunny here in Colorado. I'm enjoying the last days of fall. I wish fall could be 6 months out of the year, but it's not. So I got to prepare for winter soon. And hopefully the guides will help carry me up the mountain so I can do some skiing sometime this year. But wherever you are, I know who you are. I know what you are. I know how you serve. You are free, you are free, you are free. Go out and be your loving Christ itself. I love you. Have a great night.